Hey y'all. I finished season 2 of Monarch Legacy of Monsters last night, but I didn't like the original review that I started, so let me try again. The Randa family, for the most part, is reunited. However, they now have to face their demons, both literally and figuratively. And the more they get to understand these monsters, the less they are united on what to do with them. This season was a lot of like getting together, breaking away, and nobody texting each other when they need to. Does that mean it was a bad season? Hell no. Oh my god, so much shit went down. But like in the last 3 episodes, there were several moments where I was like, y'all could have had this conversation a week ago, I swear to God. But the writers gotta do what the writers gotta do, and anything that gets me a third season, I'm not gonna hate on it. But in any case, just to cut this short for the Instagram homies, I gave this season about an 8 out of 10. It's a worthy follow-up season, and I just liked it. But anyways, for the rest of y'all, something I realized, or something we kind of learned in this season, is that the Randers are 3 generations of Doom Triads. You got Keiko, Bill Randa, and Lee Shaw. Although in my opinion, if they had bothered to have that conversation, it would have been perfectly fine. But Lee being Lee and Bill being Bill, and Keiko and them just not being in a mindset where that was even a thing, it probably wouldn't happen. But in my heart of hearts, I feel like somebody wrote that fanfic and they need to forward it to me. And then triad number 3, which isn't really a triad, it's bigamy, but it's a Doom triad, is Hiroshi Randa and his 2 wives, neither of whom I care to remember the name of. And then you have the defunct triad that wasn't supposed to be a triad, but basically is a triad, which is Kate Randa, May, whose name is also Cora, and Kintara Randa. And to be fair, you can blame that whole situation on Kate's abandonment issues catching up to her, but then you'd also have to say the same about Hiroshi. Another thing I noticed about this season, the black people are the middlemen. Cora is in the middle of Monarch, Apex, and figuring out those third generation Randas. You got Director Barris, who has to be in the middle of, again, Monarch and the Secretary of Defense, so the United States military, basically. You got Brenda, who's at Apex, and she has to be in the middle of Apex and their bullshit, making sure Cora doesn't get totally fucked up for her shenanigans. And also Monarch, but also the general public, kind of. And what I'm about to say might come off as racist because of historical context, but that is not my intent. But I would consider King Kong a black middleman in this case. Why do I say that? King Kong is between Titan X. King Kong and Godzilla do not see each other in this season. But King Kong is between Titan X, Monarch, Apex, whoever the hell is on that damn island. and those damn Randas. Like, low-key, every time you see King Kong, he looks like he cannot be bothered. He does not want to be bothered. But he clocks in, does his job, and then takes his ass home. Like a black man, an old black man that just does not have time for any of this bullshit. But he got to get paid. Making the point that black people are the middlemen, you also come to realize all the villains are white. Like, as I said before, Brenda from Apex, she's a middleman. That Trissop guy is also technically he's a mercenary for hire, to be fair. But he's not like a true villain in any sense, really. You got Walter Simmons, who runs Apex, but we never see him. You got Isabel Simmons, who gets crazier the more we get to know her. I watched this season in chunks, so I don't remember, I think his name is General Puckett, being like a major part of it. So the blatant racism and misogyny was kind of toned down this season. But we do get to see Lee Shaw's daddy, who very clearly was baiting Shaw's alcoholism. Like, it's not like he's not a villain in like a major sense, but like Shaw the Second was clearly setting up Shaw the Third to fail in the guise of I want you to get more action. I want you to go farther in the military than I am. But you're baiting this man's alcoholism. And then there's the Secretary of Defense not listening to a word Barris has to say, and he's like, nah, nuke him. Even though they know nuking the Titans don't actually work. About to displace God knows how many millions of people. Because why not? We want to try out new nukes. The Randas are the Randas for the most part. And it really feels like they be swapping out one white granddaddy for another. But it's hard for me not to see the racial aspects at play, you know? Speaking of that, Kate is the dumbest Randa. Like, I like the entire show. I'm like, Kate, why are you so dumb? So, and it's wild as hell to me that Kate has more of a connection with Titan X, any of the Titans really, than her own grandmother. I didn't enjoy any of the major deaths this season, although I do understand how one of them sets up for the third season. But I will say, did I speak about Tim? If I did, I apologize. I will say the first deputy director dying and then Tim getting to be the new deputy director was interesting because you see where Tim has to, you watch Tim over the course of the season really get to a point where he realized, hey, I'm in charge and I need to be in charge and I need to be aggressive at times, but at the same time still being himself and saying like, hey, I'm sorry I had to be a jerk to you, but we really got to get this shit done. I did appreciate Hiroshi and Keiko's reunion and them really getting to like have conversations with each other that they would not have gotten probably if Keiko wasn't the one that fell in that hole. Like, it's funny to see Keiko coming out and she's like, oh, I got 2 grandkids. That's really nice. And then she really looks at the two and like, why they got different moms? Hiroshi, what's going on with that? And then like Hiroshi's like, well, da-da-da-da. And she's like, what the fuck? Which is about the point when I say the Randas are like 3 generations of Doom Triads. But then you also have Hiroshi kind of coming to terms with, like, properly coming to terms with how his mother's disappearance, 1, affected him, 2, affected his relationship with his father, the only man he actually calls his father, and 3, essentially created the situation that caused him to have 2 side babies. Well, it caused him to be a bigamist. I would have appreciated Granddaddy Randa coming back, Bill Randa, because like, and I gotta give it to the writers. Gotta give it to whoever decided, hey, if we're gonna bring Wyatt Russell back, we can bring back the guy who plays young Bill Randa, because we really get to see him be fucking spacey and a monster chaser, but at the same time, the way he looks at Keiko, he very much loves Hiroshi. Like, this man loved his wife and his son. No questions asked. And even when he pretty much fell apart in the grief, like, he never remarries. He doesn't have any more kids. He spends his entire time trying to get Keiko back because he can't put himself back together if he cannot find her. Well, actually, no, he doesn't fully start to fall apart like that until Shaw goes missing. But same, pretty much. But yeah, I'm almost out of time. Again, I thought season 2 was pretty good. I want to give it about an 8 out of 10, all things considered. Kate's still the dumbest Randa, but Kentaro was doing some stupid ass shit at the end as well. Although, to be fair, that was a grief talking. And also, Kate being the dumbest does not mean that Kate is has low intelligence. She's a science teacher. She knows things. She's just a bit of an airhead and she be moving on vibes, which, you know, she probably got that from her granddaddy that she never met and is technically not related to. But if you like Godzilla and King Kong, family drama, and a non-linear plot with a little bit of time travel, this entire series is for you. I will sing its praises till I am dead and gone. I hope we get a season 3. I hope we get to see Bill Randa, preferably the John Goodman Bill Randa, but I'll take the young Bill Randa as well. I hope you enjoy it as much as I do. Y'all be easy though.